What up, party people? Yeah, give me a minute. I'm making the old crowning coke there. Gotta get this done. Hope everybody's enjoying their Wednesday evening. Another episode of Ask Away with Jay. I've got some new things. I've got some new moderators. I've added some filters to keep all the turd stains away. So hopefully that works out. Whoa, hi, Luis Andrade, 92 Fishy, Ortiz Mini Zoo, what up? So, here we go. What's up, everybody? I had to make the old cool beverage here. Let me pull up some stuff. We'll get it all situated, and then we can rock out. So, I don't know if you saw Sunday's video. It was a little intense. People were definitely for and against what we were talking about. And the main thing is, when we do tanking with Steph and Jay, the main purpose is to push the boundary of what we're capable of thinking with fish. Do we have different ideas, different thoughts, different ways of doing things? So I greatly appreciate all of the input and the comments. I know sometimes Steph doesn't enjoy all of the comments, but hey, what are you going to do? So, Fish Freaks, what's up? Chad Mowry, Harry Wright, Adele, Wichita Falls Fish Keeper, what's up? Steve El Ponches Rodriguez. I'm doing well, man. I've got a little bit of allergies. I'm on Sudafed. Let me do a nice little product placement right there. Dipsy Do Dunkaroo, Adam C, what's up? Let me pull up something real quick I wanted to talk about, and then we will jam. I'm adding a couple more moderators. Hopefully this will help keep the turd stains on the underwear of life down, and if it does, fantastic. If it doesn't, then we keep pursuing more until we get what we were trying to achieve. So I've got Aawj Cunningham evolving, and then I'm going to be adding Kevin Richards here shortly after the stream, just to kind of get everything jamming. So I want to know what you thought about last Sunday's video, Tanking with Steph and Jay. Tell me. I'm very curious to hear the thoughts, to see the passion in your folks' fish keeping endeavors. But this coming Sunday, we're going to be doing something really neat. And what I mean by really neat is I'm going to review a product that I don't carry. I may not carry, but at least you'll get an honest opinion. And I'm going to be honest, and you will see that I will be really, really honest about what the food is about, how it is, how it's done for these guys, what I've noticed, the ingredients list, and what do I think about pricing, things like that. So, what's up, Jay? I was going to message you about buying a new tank, but I'm just going to replace the panel that broke. Martel, do your thing, homie. Andrew Freiberg, last week, it's whatever, it happens. I would definitely only keep Bristlenose just like you. Bristlenose do rule. Alright, I have G's in the house. Let's see how long he stays to keep these turds away. So, if you were checking out the 15K giveaway, get out of the way. Never, never, never. I'll sit to the side for you there, Jorge. You can get a little action of the fish. Jacob, what's up, my friend? I'm trying to find a 24-inch fixture that I can use for a Coral Life T5 high output 10K aquarium lamp. I can't find anything under 50 bucks just for the fixture that'll work. Any help? So, oh dear, and pubs, here's the deal. T5, T8s, although still there, still having a hold slightly in the hobby, I do find them going away. So it's going to be really difficult to get a fixture for that unless you're going specifically to a lighting store. Maybe give them a call. Maybe they have a wholesale depot online, something of that nature. Otherwise, you can get a 24-inch fixture for well under 50 bucks, LED-wise, whether it's for plants, coral, or just regular freshwater, non-plant driven tanks. Yes, IFG, that's what I meant. What's up from Texas? So, I posted a quick little snippet about asking questions. Now here's the thing. I do this every Wednesday because I find it very fun. It's intriguing to find out what people really want to know about me, about fish keeping, or their thoughts, their ideas. I always love a good debate, whether good or bad. I'm not one to get heated. I usually laugh things off. So, Ali Esalabai, what's up with the bug bites? Well, you will have to find out next Sunday. You can ask anything. You can offend me. As long as you don't attack my family directly, you cannot offend me. I am unoffendable, if that's even a word. I really am. There's not much in this world that can make me sad. I'm setting up. It's for a pulsing Xena. Any names of the LEDs would be a ton of help. I'm struggling for info online. Oh dear, and pubs. I'm sure people can jump in. Pulsing Xenia, I'm assuming, is a coral. I have no idea outside of if it's not a coral. So if anybody's got some pretty sweet LEDs for coral, post it here in the comments. I am not sure that you're going to find one for coral under 50 bucks, but it's worth a shot. I'm setting up a new tank, Jacob Krem, and I want to use pool filtration sand as a substrate. Which company sand would you recommend? I don't recommend pool filter sand. I don't like how fine it is. I find that it moves quite often and it impacts impellers much more frequently than any other typical substrate sand. If I'm going substrate in terms of sand or gravel, I typically look at Carib Sea. Carib Sea's been a phenomenal company. I started purchasing their product, and they've been really good to me in helping give back to the community, so I will continue to promote and support Carib Sea. Also, I only have a $100 bill, so no online stuff. Oops. Then I apologize, oh dear, in the pubs. Tell people where you're at. Do you have any bottom dwellers that are good with Africans? Well, when you talk about bottom dwellers, are you just looking for fish that cruise the bottom? What are you specifically looking for? I think that's more of the question we really need to ask ourselves is, are we just looking for something to clean up the bottom? Because typically there isn't one that's going to clean up the bottom per se. What are you trying to get out of a bottom dwelling fish first? Then we can move from there. It's just like we had a guy come in today, great guy at Universal Rocks. He was looking at Holy Rock. He said, I got a 55 gallon. I want to put some Holy Rock in there, and then I'm going to figure out the fish. And I was like, nah, we got to back up. You got a 55 gallon. What do you want to keep? And he said, well, I'm looking at this. And I said, okay, what we really have to look at is the size of the fish now. Typically, you want to know what fish you want to keep, then jump into the size of the tank, etc. So we were able to dissect what he was looking for, ultimately getting him less money out of his pocket to get the rocks that he wanted, which is always a win. And he can have the tank that he wants with the fish that he wants, which is really cool. Something that looks nice on the bottom. So you're just looking for something that looks nice. I have a lot of peacocks that cruise the bottom. If you're looking for a pleco, I say bristlenose. Stephanie Campbell does not recommend any of them due to the science background, which I can't argue with her. There's no argument there. She has her opinion stated by fact. I have my opinions stated by visual and self-fact. I didn't read books for it. And that's just the way I look at it. So if you're looking for something, I had cats in my 220 that were great, but they have barbs. So you really have to be careful when you're doing all of this. Carib Sea is good, but I'm tight on a budget. So look secondhand. Go to your local fish store. Typically, they'll have something that comes in. Just make sure you rinse it really well. But pool filter sand, in my opinion, is just not something that I would utilize. I just don't like it. A lot of people, I don't want to say swear by it, but they enjoy it. I do not. Sandblasting sand looks great, but you have to clean it before you get... Yeah, South Carolina, that's good too. But again, folks, it's really difficult to get this cheaper stuff. I don't mind saving a buck if it's going to help, i.e. the sun filter. People will say, I don't like the sun filter because it breaks, man. Come on. All right, whatever. I got it. But sandblasting sand, are you physically watching the sandblasting sand get cut down? Is there any metals or, it's like, well, I'm going to go spend $35 and get there a truckload in my brand new pick-em-up truck. And I'm going to put some wood chips from my front. So mulch, yeah, you know what I'm talking about. This is high quality mulch. The cypress stuff. The good. This is what my boys tell me. So you go and pick it up and it's got junk in it because you don't see exactly what they're putting in it. So you have to be careful when you're getting machine style stuff for your fish, because fish take in a lot of this, cycle it around their mouth, spit it out, and then people are like, oh my god, my fish's lips, the color is missing, no. Well, there's a reason. It's sifting through freaking shards of glass. Of course something's going to happen. So be aware. I'm not saying do not, just be aware of what you're getting and what's in it. That's all. Synodontis cat. Yeah, I mean, that's what I had. You didn't lab test it out? Get out of here. It ain't no lab test. I mean, if you... Everybody... This is a good topic. I'm going to go on a rant for a moment regarding lab testing. You know, people will tell you, spirulina causes them dang black spots on my fish. Yeah, well, it ain't gonna be that, because I heard and read in a couple of forums that it ain't gonna be your spirulina. It's gonna be your beta-carotenes, your K12s, your 7,6s, your isotopes, your biotopes, and your, oxygenatosis. That's what's causing it. And we don't know, because we don't have labs. You know, it's information that was handed down, just like family stories that continue to change year after year, and before you know it, you're like, holy crap, I was involved in 7 wars, my whole family tree, and then you go back and you had one Folks, if you got a lab, utilize it. Chances are you don't have a lab and it's really bothering you, send it off to a lab for a couple $100 and save yourself the sadness of creating a story, I guess. So, do you know anything about ChemiPure Green? JJ Aquariums, what would you like to know about ChemiPure Green? I bought a Venustus and it doesn't want to eat. Well, dagnabbit, that Venustus. You sit him at the table now, you see, and you make sure he eats before leaving. No, I mean, you're not... Granley, when did you get him? Let's do that. When and where did you get him? I go by your advice all the time. My tank is gorgeous. I appreciate it, Jorge. My advice is not always going to be 100% pure, but I try my best to give information that I know has worked for me or what I know I could have changed to make better. And I think that's the key. And I seem to be doing an okay job at it. I haven't had anybody call me and drastically had something on an ill effect. If it has happened, I've never heard of it, but I do definitely try. My rainbow sharks and loaches and plecos got on with my cichlids. I just have them because I love them. I hope they didn't get it on. Ever see yourself keeping larger fish, maybe South American cichlids or anything for that matter? Awesome question. So, I do see myself doing that. I like to stay within the cichlid realm, so the Cichlidae classification. I don't know which one. Matter of fact, Jonathan Straczynski, he's a really funny dude. He's got an awesome personality. I sound like I'm creating a Match.com thing for him. He's a very unique personality. You either like him or you don't, and he is an awesome dude. He always makes fun of me because I keep African cichlids. He says they're too small, but today he talked about convicts. Look, a 3.5-year-old child can keep convicts and breed them. So I don't think so, Jonathan Straczynski. But I do like Feste. I do like a lot of these Umbe, what am I creating my own? And Uaru, the Panda Uaru, I think is what it is. A beautiful fish. So maybe, I don't know when, don't know if ever, but I do see myself, I think about it nightly. No, I really want to at some point, but I don't know when. Most of it's molded when sold because it's stored outdoors. I haven't... What is he talking about? Do you know anything about ChemiPure black mold? Lab test is a joke. Well, I mean, IFG, a lab test can be a joke, depending on the lab. The thing is some people actually replicate lab testing to show an outcome that they want. I mean, the same thing with anything. I mean, folks, anything we do in this world can be misconstrued or utilized or shown in the light that it wants to get the desired outcome that somebody wants to see from it, whether it's good information, bad information, or an arousal from somebody. That's the goal. A flower horn fits your personality. Absolutely not. I'll never keep a flower horn. I don't have any affinity towards them. I don't think they look cool. I think they're very unique, but it's just not my cup of tea. ChemiPure Elite and Blue, I use them both together. Awesome. Question, on your live streams, as I was considering trying it out, are you filming with your phone and reading comments on your laptop? So yes, I did start that because I like the camera on the back side of my phone, so the actual camera, not the front-facing camera. I can use an iPad, but I'm looking right at it. I have it right here. The thing with live streaming is you have to be able to ad-lib, on cue, be able to, in the moment, screw up and just own it. It's easy, but it's not, because, you know, most people are looking for numbers, and you will get very discouraged on live streams if you're not one of the bigger names and somebody that has done live streams for a very long time. I started on Facebook, and, you know, I do a lot of the stuff on Facebook, so I felt like a live stream on YouTube, I could then get it on Facebook later. So it was better for me that way to help more people get more of the information I was looking to give it out. Excuse me. Is that a 100-gallon behind you? No, sir. It is a 75-gallon. Which I enjoy. Get a Dovi. Maybe. I don't know. The pool filter sand. It's meant to be a joke. Not that labs are jokes. Oh. How is the traffic in DFW compared to OKC? So I'm not really in DFW traffic at all. I take the express lanes. But when I go to work, I'm on one major road, typical traffic, same as I would see in Edmond, which is just north of Oklahoma City. So I see no vast difference. Of course, when you jump on 35 during rush hour and you're not taking an express lane, there is a major difference. Oklahoma City, I don't consider to have traffic, although people say it has traffic. I've lived in Hawaii, Florida, Connecticut, the tri-state area, so Connecticut, New York, New Jersey, and now in Texas. Oklahoma does not have traffic. What dimensions are your 75? Sorry, Jay, strange question. Honestly, I think it's 4 foot by 12 by 24. I think, I don't know the exact 75 dimensions. I don't work with 75 much. It's your standard 75. You can pull it up from Marineland, Aquarium, Tetra, that whole shebang. Dovis are awesome, but the minimum tank size for them is 300 gallons. No. I've seen many people, they keep them in 55 gallons now. Well, and that's one of the reasons why I haven't kept fish of this caliber, due to the fact that I know you need a larger tank. And I totally forgot to turn on that light. Oh well. I don't like play sand or pool sand, and don't know why people use it, to be honest. I mean, it's more cost effective. So, cool. Adam C. What was the for? What is in your FX6 from top tray to bottom tray? So I don't have any FX6s here, but at home, on the top tray I have polishing, so it's going to be my ChemiPure Blue, ChemiPure Elite. I alternate in 2 different canisters right now. And then the center is going to be my biological, which is Matrix. I'll have a review coming for Marine Pure here soon, because I've been using it in the sump. And then on the bottom, I typically use either the pads that come with the FX6, or if I want to get rid of them, I will use Pinky's filters, which I typically lay under everything but biological filtration so that I can remove it easily. So polishing on top, bio in the middle, and then in the very bottom, if I have more bio, great. If I don't, I'm using some sort of pad or similar to biological filtration. And remember, the sponges are also biological filtration on the side, so you have enough within one FX6. Ugh, that was a lot. No, it's not that bad. 30 minutes to get across Dallas traffic is getting much better. You ain't lying, Nubian. It's crazy. It takes me, what used to take me probably about 45 minutes to an hour to get out of Dallas to get to a place where the freeway opened up outside of 35, now takes me 15 minutes. So Dallas knows exactly what they're doing in terms of restructuring flow and disbursement of vehicles. How much Northfin Cichlid formula 2mm pellets should I feed 15 juveniles and 3 adult peacocks? Just got my Northfin today, 1 kg. Well, awesome, Alfonso Gonzalez. As far as how much you should feed, I typically say stay there and wait. Feed them a little bit. Make sure none gets to the bottom. Feed them again. Make sure none gets to the bottom. Feed them a little bit more and you'll be good. Or find a medicine cup, you know, one of those small little Robitussin all day long, all day strong cups, and get enough food in there, not a lot, because I'm going to go off on a limb and say over 80% of fish keepers overfeed their aquarium. Over 80%. And if we can reduce that, oh, magically your nitrates come down. Who would have thought? It's like Jon Snow walked in here, yielded a sword, and nitrates went down. So yes, slow down on the feeding, pay attention to it. Don't plop and drop, because you're going to lose out on a lot of food, and then people are like, my African cichlids aren't eating it. They don't like it. Well, when you throw 700 pellets in there, and you go through a 1 kg bag with 18 fish in 2 weeks, you have overfed dramatically. So it's trial and error based upon your fish's appetite. What's going on, Big Cunningham? You're a moderator, by the way. What island were you on? I was on the island of Oahu. Jay, do you like the Wiggles? What are the... Is that a show? Or do I like wiggling? I don't... No, I don't. I don't know what it is. How is the new Monster Home Aquarium coming along? It's not yet, because I'm still in the planning process. More than likely, we're moving down here. It's going to be a slow process. I'm very strategic and tactical when we do something, but sometimes my emotions jump in front. Like, okay, I'm traveling too much. I want my family together. Let's go. But in actuality, my wife is a phenomenal person. For most of you that know her will agree, and for those that don't will probably still agree. She's more of a level-headed rock. She'll say, not like a shape of a rock, but she clears the cloudiness of the vision or the mission that I'm on. And so we've got a couple things we want to tailor up first, and then we'll move down here and I'll finish the big tank. So it's going to be a little bit. It's going to be months, maybe a year, but within the year, I hope. I used a 40-pound bag of all-purpose sand in my 55. Now I regret it. How's the best way to get it all out? And I have 15 goldfish and 30 white clouds. Oh my goodness, 15 goldfish in a 55. You got to get all the fish out. It's going to be miserable unless you're going to use some sort of vacuum that's going to suck anyway. So maybe like you got to get the fish out. Get the fish out, get into a holding tub, and then use a shop vac once you drain all the water to get that sand out if you want. If not, a cup and then a shop vac and a hose. There's no easy way in my opinion unless somebody has one. I am guilty of overfeeding. Good, Matt. Good to see you. What's up, Ben? Matt Webster, I was going to add you as a moderator, but I couldn't find your channel. Ben Ochart in the house. What's up, Ben Ochart? Has anything happened with the 15K Super Mega giveaway? It's been a month since the first video. So, Andrew Low, man, I apologize. Yes. So, this Sunday, I'm going to pull the names, and then next Wednesday, I'll be doing the drawing. It is my fault. I take full responsibility. I got way too much on my plate at one time with doing something that I haven't discussed with anybody outside of my wife and 2 or 3 other people that are involved in it, plus the ACA stuff, which doesn't take up a lot of time. I'm going to start working a little bit harder on that, plus Northfin USA, answering questions, this stuff, my career being a husband, being a father, and trying to enjoy time in essence of what it is myself. So I do apologize. If you want to get it in, I'm not going to hold anybody back from not getting the stuff in. It was my fault. I didn't promote it very well. Blah, 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 blah. So next Wednesday, I will draw the names on Ask Away with Jay. So stay tuned, Andrew, and I apologize. I bought Northfin Cichlid food this Saturday. Had got the food. Whoa, that went fast. Had got the food by Monday. Awesome service, great product, cheap shipping, never buying food from elsewhere. Thank you. Raul, I appreciate that. We're a small business in the sense of we are a small business. It's my wife and I, and mainly my wife right now, Mindy. And she does a fantastic job of juggling that and being a mother. And I mean, to hear that you ordered food Saturday and got it Monday is, if you got it from us, that's freaking phenomenal. Open garden hose, siphon the sand out. There you go. Get the fish out, siphon with a straight hose in the buckets. The man with the golden voice. What's up, Ben? Yeah, Ben Ochart. Hold on. This is my Ben Ochart. Let me see. Good evening, fish keepers. It's Ben Ochart here. I want to ask you a question. Where has IFG gone? Jay Wilson? Do you know? I believe Ben Ochart gets in the mirror and he goes, Ben Ochart. Ben Ochart. Ben Ochart. Sorry, Ben, had to do it. I can't wait to see that giant tank, but looking forward to that 500 gallon. Yeah, I've got to get some more fish in the 500 gallon. I got to get on the North Fin program. I'm hearing awesome stuff. Jacob, it's when the time's right, man. You can't force somebody to try food. I mean, we can market, we can talk about how great it is. Ultimately, you've got to try it yourself. And ultimately, you will find out if you like it. And it's not going to be you, it's going to be your fish. And do you see the results that you ultimately desire from the amount of money you spend? And Northfin is not the most expensive food, but I think overall it's probably the most balanced in terms of affordability, availability, and outcome that you're going to see of any food. And people will say, I've got the best food. I've remarketed some amazing acai puree and some really, really cool fibers from a holistic towel that I found in the wild. Fish seem to absorb the micronutrients and electrolytes very well so that the micrometabolism of said digestion in any fish from yellow Labradachromis superventriloquus all the way to your common goldfish is phenomenal. Years of science backing this stuff, and we're just happy to deliver it to the public. Get the heck out of here. Talk about the food in terms somebody can hear. You spit science and people automatically think that it's far superior. Look, you're going to use what you want anyways, regardless if I use it or somebody else uses it. So try it when you want, and if you don't like it, I'd like to hear about it. And if you did like it, I'd like to hear about it. Yeah, Andrew, I apologize. Going through a fish cycle, nitrite won't go down. It's been 5 weeks. Ammonia is 0 and nitrate is 10. So something is preventing it from kicking back to 0. So my assumption would be that maybe you do not have enough biological filtration. I don't know. Sorry, got to go. Keep up the great work. Have a great night. You too, brother. You need the hair. No, he has a helmet. Did you see that picture where Ben Ochart had a helmet? I don't have anything. Hold on. Let's try something here. Ben Ochart? I wish I had a wig. But he had a helmet just similar to that back in looked like the 90s. We understand a lot of this like you have a wife, kid, job. We know how it is. You look healthy and happy. I feel like crap today, but overall I am happy. Yes, this is Mindy's tank. I brought the A-Round Nature tank and the 75 gallon from the house here to Texas, and ultimately it was probably a better decision because I don't have to do as much maintenance when I go home, and it works out really well. 80 watching, 30 likes. Smash that like button, folks. I mean, yeah, smash it if you want, and I don't hit dislike. I mean, I enjoy doing this. It doesn't matter. You need a drink. Don Gray, what up, my man? Actually, I do need a drink, and I better get one from you at OCA. What Northfin food would I use for severums? I believe severums are omnivores. Correct me if I'm wrong. So a cichlid formula would work fine. You could probably use Krill Pro, which would work just as good. Newsflash, folks. Krill Pro and Krill Gold are identical without the same name. One is Canadian, one is the United States of America. And it's just a name change. That's all it is. Nothing, no production has changed, any of that nature. What puts Northfin a step above other brands? Jacob Krem, it's not about what puts it above other brands. Whenever you do something, I don't think that you should try to put yourself above somebody else. What you should do is get into that same arena and own it. Beast in exactly what everybody else is doing in hopes that you can continue to drive more competition, better quality things. People get so complacent in what they do. Companies get complacent in what they do and how they do things until the next big thing shows up, and then they work on something. So where I think Northfin edges a lot of other companies, even ones that have had a stronghold for 10, 15 years, is the way it's processed. The person behind processing it is a food engineer for, I mean, I think he said 15 to 20 years. And the holistic ingredients that they're able to harvest being in Canada. And if you notice, most really good foods are coming from Canada. They don't have the same restrictions or the same embargoes or the same people behind where you get certain things because of promises and political arrangements. So I feel ingredients, the deliverance, the ability to deliver it in a very affordable form in such high quality that's what makes it good. Maybe the best. And I can say it's best and say, yeah, I own it, it's the best. I brought it in because I thought for me it was the best. But for some people, they're going to ride a line of brand favoritism, and that's normal. But when it comes down to it, the proof is in the pudding. We'll just put it that way. Use stability trying to cycle your tank. Stability works wonders. I've seen some things that, you know, people talk about. I have used stability in over 10 tanks that I was cycling, and have done nothing else but use stability and add fish directly and immediately without any seeded filtration, and stability has failed me 0 times. The key is you have to not pay attention so much to the numbers as long as you're dosing with stability and prime or safe, because you will run yourself ragged. Northfin is the best food. Absolutely no discoloring. Fish go crazy. Great ingredients. Probably the only food without... I never pronounced that word properly. Northfin USA is the place. Well, thanks, Raul. I appreciate that. And yes, it does have phenomenal ingredients. And people say, well, it's got wheat in it, man, so it's got a filler. You have to bind a pellet. So there is different amounts you can add to bind something. So the ingredients tell one part of the story. Processing tells a whole nother part. And ingredients-wise, the wheat, 100% fact now, is the minimum standard required to keep the pellet from breaking apart. You ever put food in the, we don't use fillers, and you see, we've got potato paste, we've got carrot puree, and we use super snap pea edamame sprinkles to keep your fish healthy. And when you put it in, it goes instant powder. It's like you used rapeshi, which is a good, decent food, without ever making it. You just dumped it in there. So you need some sort of binding agent, and that's where wheat came in. Any plans for an affordable universal rock background? Had to justify to the wife spending $250 for one, plus for one. So in terms of affordability, that's subjective, Bill Hutt, and man, I appreciate the constant support that you have given me over the last year and a half plus. As of today, there's new colors out. Myself, Ben Dunn, Stuart Dunn, Tale, the whole team at Universal Rocks, we are working on ways to make the product more reachable for more people. And so we're working on possibly something that where if somebody ordered something custom and maybe it's just 3 or 4 inches longer than what you really needed, you can buy this at a very drastic reduced cost. You would just have to do the trimming or the modifications, if you will. Outside of that, there are backgrounds that may not be as 3-dimensional. They're not flat, but they have a very small dimension to them, and you could purchase those rather cheap, especially with codes that you can utilize my code, and that's still available. You can utilize that code. I cannot give it to you directly when you call in or email, but you can get one very affordable, Bill. That's where I'm driving. So, IFG, did you get your light problem fixed? Man, IFG was baiting and switching you cats about leaving lights on. I'm from the UK. Jagsman, Northfin UK will have it. They will be your go-to source, and I call him Tots. Tots is a phenomenal dude. We do now have 3mm Krill Pro. It's a 3mm Krill Pro pellet. There was a demand for it. I don't see, I mean, people are buying it just as if they would buy 2 mil, but I don't see an overwhelming response for it. What's the most expensive peacock you got? Probably my Golden Bamba Bay is the most expensive peacock I have. What are your thoughts on Cichlid Lake Salt from Seachem? I think it's a good product. I don't think everybody needs to use it. I think there's certain cases where you would use it. I currently do not use it. I do sell it because I believe in Seachem's product. So, hey, I have a peacock that won't eat pellets. Well, pallets. Well, he won't eat pellets. Pellets, only flakes. How do I fix that? Fish will eat anything, folks. Fast them, just as if you would fast before a surgery. Fast them for about 4 days and see what they do. Let's see. Scrolling through. I've been feeding the same food for a very long time, thinking it was good. Then I started learning a bit more about what the ingredients mean, and then I realized it was mostly fillers. Yeah, I mean, it happens. My tank is milky gray color. My tank is only a year old. How do I fix it? A milky gray color could mean phosphates, could mean you clean it too much and it keeps cycling, could be the sand, could be you feed too much. I mean, there's so many different things we can talk about. Ultimately, test your water, make sure it's got, no phosphates and it's not overdoing something. Stop adding a ton of chemicals if you are. Just stick to the basics. Bring yourself back down to the basics and work yourself back up is the best advice I got from you. For you. Let's see. My fish thrive on North Fin and my water stays crystal clear. Yes, I won't consider another brand. Okay. No problem, Bill Hutt. Any experience with Lethrinops? I'm thinking about doing a species-specific tank and getting them. Any favorites? Lethrinops are cool fish in general. They're very fickle. They take a while to color up, but they do perfect in the case that you're working on, and that would be a species-only tank. So if you stayed with a species-only tank, you would get the best result from any of the Lethrinops that you purchased. Ben Ochart says, North Fin's difference for me is no clouding of the water, and the fish go absolutely nuts and look and act great on the diet. Absolutely. I mean, it does not cloud the water. If you dump the whole bag in, I'm sure as you get bigger in pellet, it will, because the bigger pellet has a lot more surface area, so there's a lot more resistance when it's going to the bottom, so sometimes it will break off if the fish cannot get it all in their mouth at one time. And then as far as your fish looking and acting great, newsflash, I've been using North Fin specifically since I started keeping Africans, since I started selling it. And then I started watching my fish, and since the whole transition, I have not seen any issues in terms of bloat, discoloration of any sort with the fish, whether it's veggie, Krill Pro, or Cichlid formula. I've fed Peacock's Jumbo formula. I have fed 3-4 months at a time Krill Pro. No ill side effects, folks. No ill side effects. Hey Jay, I know it's a peacock, but did you see the little video Butch did about his Angara Reds? One of those fish that people think is a Photoshop. Guess they do exist. No, it's not a Photoshop. It's real. I've physically seen it at Butch's house when I was there. I think I've posted pictures. It's not Photoshopped. It's a trait that they're after, and Butch can get his hand on a lot of stuff. Other people can get some phenomenal fish. Butch has had an exclusivity with somebody in Germany for longer than I've known him, and he can get more fish. He can get more fish than anybody that I know of, unless it's somebody that has a farm that can bring in more. But his list is so comprehensive, it's insane. Any experience with Lethrinops? Yes, I have experience with Lethrinops, but they don't fare too well. The red cap is a beautiful fish, but does well in the breed in a species only. Been feeding North Fin USA from you now 6 months. Fish look great, no cloud. Is New Life Spectrum a good cichlid food? It's perfectly fine. It's not the best anymore. I've fed New Life Spectrum a lot, but things have changed over the years with them, and it wouldn't be my go-to. If North Fin, I've always said if North Fin went under, I would not fall back to New Life Spectrum. What up, Jay? Sorry I'm joining late. That's okay. What up, Gordon Brewer? For tots. Remember the opinion you should follow to be your own. Yes. Cherry Angara. What fish isn't photoshopped? I'm sorry, I missed the name. Angara red. When I clean my 2 canisters on the 120, alternating about every 3 months, but they are never dirty, not bad. Just find it odd. Maybe let one go a little bit. Let it season itself. You ever find that the best grill is the seasoned grill, the one that hasn't been cleaned like crazy? Watch your core 3 numbers, your core 3, your ammonia, nitrite, nitrate, and let one of those bad boys ride it out for a little bit. It sounds like you don't overfeed. It sounds like you do considerable amount of water changes, Josh, and it sounds like you do quite a bit of maintenance, so that's probably why you're seeing that result. How many peacocks in a 55-gallon I can keep with the Sun 304 Bravo and Marineland Bio Wheel 400? Not a huge fan anymore after learning of putting peacocks in a 55, but if you had to do it, I would probably stick to smaller peacocks and maybe 12 to 15 depending on the size. Max. And this is a number I'm pulling out of my head based upon what I do in my tanks. So it could be anything. How to fish question: is the Trimitochromis cambiri the real intermedius or the Autopharynx tetrastigma? Jay Nasty, what's up? What's up, man? So Ali, that's not a question for me. I don't really follow the Trimitochromis. I would think the real intermedius would be the Trimitochromis. The Autopharynx tetrastigma is the tetrastigma, so I could be completely wrong. So Krill Pro is almost the same as Veggie? Oh, no. Not even close. Krill Pro is 85% whole Antarctic krill. Veggie doesn't even come close to topping that. If I remember correctly, which I don't have Veggie in front of me because I don't feed it very often, I believe the first ingredient is either kelp. And so no, it's not even close to the same thing. And I have Krill Pro already. So no, Alfonso, you did the right thing. Have you seen Butch's Orange Blackfin Autopharynx? I'm trying to get a breeding group. So I think you're talking about the black-orange dorsal, I think. And that is a phenomenal fish. Phenomenal fish. Probably, in my opinion, a far superior fish than the sulfur head or a Z-Rock from Zimbabwe rock. It's a cool fish, especially under the correct lighting. It's every day, bro, with that Disney Channel. 5 million on YouTube and in 6 months never done past the competition, man. What? I don't know what that person is saying. Oh well. Mr. Wilson, sir, have you ever thought about getting a North Fin dealer stock in Australia? It's already done. Australia now has a North Fin dealer. I'd like to try this stuff, but freight from the US is a deal breaker. 65 bucks. I have quite a few people that pay it, especially from Singapore. Singapore is a phenomenal country, and they support North Fin USA tenfold. I've told them about places that are closer, but they continue to buy from me, and I love it. Australia, I still have customers from Australia, even though that they now can get it in Australia, but yes, it's available. Jay, I've been cleaning my 2 Sun 704 Bravos the first of every month. How often do you do them, and is it overkill? Sometimes I do not clean my Sun in a month, or my FX6. Sometimes I'll wait a month and a half, 2 months, but I will check them. If I don't see buildup, then I move on. Jimmy Blaze and the crew are doing awesome. So shout out to Gordon Brewer. Gordon Brewer got Jimmy Blaze. Johnny Blaze's offspring. Jimmy Blaze was phenomenal. Gordon Brewer, if you can post that picture in the aquatic lounge of Jimmy Blaze, that would be phenomenal. I'd really appreciate that. I really miss that fish. But Gordon Brewer took all of the non-predator haps, and he's doing a great job. We thought we were going to have an issue with one of the fish, but it appears that he turned the corner for the good, which is great. They were all hardy fish. So, how do you resolve fish with internal parasites with wasting stomach? So here's the deal. People are going to hate on me for this, and that's fine. I don't spend a lot of time trying to save a fish that is too far gone, and the reason being is I'm putting the fish through more stress, dragging a vial down its throat. Can it work? Absolutely. It's a 50-50 shot with anything. But if the fish is wasting, you believe it's internal parasites, you've treated the water, the fish isn't eating, the fish is separated, or maybe the fish is eating, and you start feeding it a very high protein, very rich food, i.e. Krill Pro from Northfin, you could, if you don't see anything happening over the course of a few days, chances are that that fish is further along than you thought. At that moment, you really have to think about, is the life, is the quality, and this sounds really weird, and I want you folks to kind of grasp this. It's the same thing with any life. I had to deal with this with a cat that I absolutely loved. I'm gonna spit numbers. We pumped $4,000 into this cat. I didn't have $4,000. Loved the cat tremendously. Loved her. She's in videos in the beginning of when I started YouTube. Beautiful cat, phenomenal. $4,000 in vet fees for blood transfusions and things like that. I didn't have it. But felt that if we saved the cat, it would make my wife and I feel better. Same thing goes with any other animal or human life. There is a point that you have to make a very difficult decision, sometimes harder than others. Is the quality of life and what I'm about to do worth the possible death, or worse, furthering more damage upon this living creature? Or would it be in the best interest of all things to end it? That's what you have to think about. And more times than not, I feel that yes, the fish's life is worth it depending on how much money you spent, the affinity you have for the fish. The fish is a life, you should take care of it. But at the end of the day, if you are spending $60 and $70 on medication and it's not working and food's being wasted and you set up another tank, or you had one set up, and the electricity, and you're just waiting for this fish to turn some magic corner, you're not doing any justice for that fish or for you and your finances, and that can cause a lot of stress, grief, and financial hardship sometimes in a fish. The case goes with anything. So try your best, and that's all you really can ask for. And if you know you've done your best, then and ultimately you can't say you didn't do anything. What's the best LED light for peacocks in a 125? I'll order it right now. I like Current USA. They don't pay me. They gave me a power head to give away. They gave me an orbit light a long time ago to give away. They've never given me anything directly. I really like Current USA. Beamsworks is a company that I promote it with no kickbacks because they're an affordable light. But there's other lights that are made from the same manufacturer in China as Beamsworks. So when you type in LED light, 48-inch, 36-inch, whatever the case is, you'll find plenty of affordable lights. And most of them are going to be the same strip inside the same style of housing with a different sticker. Alfonso, I run 2 Fluval Aqua Skylights. You know, I never cared for Fluval's Aqua Skylights, but whatever. Where's the bird? So I'm going to address the bird in a second. Spent about $5,000 on a Lucky, our family cat. What's debt compared to his life? Absolutely 2 guys, fish and fries, but when it came down to it, I spent the $4,000 and we still couldn't save the cat. So we prolonged the cat's life for a couple weeks, enough for us to see this cat every day at the hospital. Multiple blood transfusions from another cat that matched that cat in terms of blood count and whatever numbers they were looking for. And it lived a shoddy life at the end. I felt bad, like I was emotionally distraught showing up to this amazing pet hospital. My cat's in a kennel, not herself, and she's got tubes galore being fed, being given saline, everything under the sun. And ultimately it came down to where I had to tell the doctor, is it worth it? Is it worth putting the cat through more stress? Are we going to see an outcome that's favorable? And the vet said it's a 50-50 shot. We've done 2 transfusions. We can't do it again. We have to wait X amount of time. And I said, it's not fair to this cat. Money is something that will come again. You can make more money. You can't make more time. You can't make more life of something that you currently have. But time and life is something you can create a life, but you can't adjust it, if that makes sense. And because it's in the time space. Time is very valuable. So we were losing time on all fronts. This cat was losing time. Her name was Cleo, and my father-in-law, I'm actually going to post a picture of it. My father-in-law, which I don't call him my father-in-law, but he's Mindy's father, who would have knew he had a hidden talent to draw, and he drew this cat with pencil, and it is beautiful. And, that was the best thing we got out of that situation, but I was the one that held her. I was the one that was there, and yeah, it sucked. $4,000 doesn't mean anything. I didn't have it. I didn't care. I can get $4,000 later. It may take more time, but it was more so, did I do that cat a good service? Hi, mate from Australia. G'day, Owen. How you doing, mate? I wanted to thank you. I was away from the hobby for 30 years. After watching a few of your videos, I got the bug. 3 tanks later, I'm enjoying the hobby. Renee Miranda, I really appreciate that. Time and time again, that is the story I hear about my videos, is that I've helped somebody get back into the hobby and motivated them or inspired them. And that's awesome. There are plenty of other fish YouTubers or YouTubers that can do the same thing, but to know that it was me directly, that is what makes everything worth it. I don't care about the $180 or whatever I get a month from this. That has nothing to do with it. It's that. Kyle's Wild World, the ability to meet Kyle's Wild World and various other people that I've been able to personally contact or to meet in person, is something that, man, it's crazy. If I grasp that, it's freaking amazing. Alfonso, already read the Alfonso one. Currents being solid. Had one of my controllers go on after a year and they covered it in a warranty and replaced a part. Yeah, they're great people. Gotta run, Jay. Sorry, stay till the end. I'll catch you on the next live video. I appreciate it, Jacob, for coming out. Morning, Jay. What's the ideal GHKH? My tap order is 8 and 11. What do you think? Low, great videos, by the way. So, flat out, I'm not a huge kicker on GH and KH. If your tank is fine, leave it. If your fish are not showing adverse signs and everything is stable, stop messing with tanks. Stop testing it and touching it and dipping vials in it and strips and moving rock and sand. Stop it. I said it last week, I'll say it again. 80% viewing, 20% touching. Please. It'll make you a phenomenal, super elite mega fish keeper, and it will save you a lot of time. Silly Minge, Japanese pens. Oh yeah, good grief, man. She's all on that. You motivated me to drink more. It's not something I wanted to do. Wait, you get $180? Hook a wife up. Yeah, you see it. You see it. That's what gets you those freaking expensive pens. Thank you, YouTube. And for the first time, I'm not under an MCM, which I made a horrible mistake years ago and got a part of an MCM, so we'll see what happens. Sorry to hear that, but at the time, hard for anyone not to pay the bill. Real time, right? Heart pulls real time when you're holding or looking at your cat, your wife, your kid, etc. Oh, absolutely. I'm totally with you on that. So the current Orbit Pro or the current Satellite Pro. I'm not sure they're making the Orbit anymore. Satellite Pro is what I have. I really enjoy it. Jay, keep up the great work. Appreciate it. Sergeant Tanks, salute your shorts. Hey, I have a fishing channel. Can I fish in your cichlid tank? No. I hope and can't wait to meet you someday. You truly are the best, man. I appreciate that. I'll say this. I'm very humbled. I will speak in real terms. Well, it doesn't matter if it's politics, finances, religion, fish. I will speak in real terms. I'm not going to shy away from saying something. I don't think I'm the best. I think I have a very good ability of reaching people at the right time with the right words. And I learned that from a lot of people that didn't know they were teaching me, but I was learning from them. And that is the key, is listen more, talk less. And I can talk a lot, clearly. But when I'm around people that I've never met, I listen more because you can learn quite a bit. And same goes with social media. Read to understand. Don't read to respond. Time and time again, we pop off because we see something that we don't like. Shout out to Crown Royal. This is not a sponsored ad, but thank you very much for supporting my taste buds in all that you do. Shout out to whoever owns Coca-Cola. You guys make a killer product combination. So, it doesn't make me the best, but thank you. I do appreciate that. So, we've got 5-10 minutes. Adam Langley, you do not have to be sorry you missed last week's video. Is that a Reuben Red in your tank behind, mate? Yes. So, the Reuben Red looks like he has sunken belly, and it's actually not sunken belly. He was severely taunted by the Eureka. As you know, the Eureka has since been removed. I have dropped the water a little bit. It's a little bit warmer in this room. There is a fan going, and the goal was to fill it today, but I did not. It doesn't bother me. I actually find it very soothing. But everybody's starting to come around now that the bully's out. I didn't have the time or space to move him. People can castrate me for that. So be it. In the end, he's gone now. Everything's good. I did lose those fish during the time being, but now that I know and he's gone, he's isolated and we're good. This whole trip is truly amazing. Damien, it's phenomenal, man. 27 tanks, never tested a drop of water. I've tested water. I can't say that I didn't, but yes. Will you buy an octopus? Never. Bullies suck. They're painful. Bullies in all forms suck. Once you understand what a bully really is, but yes, bullies do suck. I'm getting a 75-gallon this week in J&B aquariums. I'm really excited for you. I truly am. I think it's really cool. I can't wait to see it. Granley Rodriguez, Mbuna versed Peacock. So Pseudotrophius versus Alanakara. What should I do? Wait to find out. I'll answer that question at a later date. Our son likes the shot song. Yes, he does. Jay, oh, you want me to do a shotty shot? Such a great tasting liquor. Jay, what's up with the new Universal Rocks colors available in any design? They are fire. First off, Matt Webster, thank you very much. I would like to say that I had a hand in helping with the Castle Rock Gray, which I did. Outback Sunset was just a reimagined, repurposed color that was done a long time ago, and I think it looks great. So it can be done on anything custom, put it that way. So yes, you can get on the website, look at the custom backgrounds. There is right now currently a small fee. It is not very large and it's dependent on the size. But it covers the cost of the added color because it does take more work. And that's kind of the thing about Universal Rocks that I've learned working there and being legit a part of the family. It's what you think and how you think it's made is something completely different. And although it may seem easy, in order to get something that you can reproduce without a large manufacturing process that jacks a price up, but still keeping a personal touch and that customization, yes. So here's another thing. Universal Rocks does not use any lacquers or sealants or paints to do this on their backgrounds. This is stuff that's not going to wear off or break down over time. I guess if you used the foam application outside and left it out in the sun, at some point the sun would beat down on it. But in your tank, it's not going to do such a thing. I've never seen it, never heard of it, and even working there, they still have stuff that they pressure wash daily to test and nothing happens. You can get custom colors. You can call us and say, for instance, I'll be a customer with no names. I'm from Canada. I really want a background to put in my saltwater tank. I want something that looks like coralline algae that has some greens and some purples and some reds, and we can do that. We can make a small mock-up, show you. This requires more money because it's more effort and time, so it's custom. You call me, we can work something out. It's got to be within the spectrum that we're able to work in. Stuart Dunn quoted the best: "We are not artists. We are storytellers." So the goal is when we're making a product, and I don't make many of the products. Ben Dunn does a great job. There's a lot of guys on the floor that do some great work. They're telling a story. That's their goal. That's why things will slightly be different when you get it, because they're feeling something. This sounds cheesy, but legitimately, I was in the team huddle when they said it. It was like the second day, and he said, tell a story through each rock. That is the goal. Was it weathered? Was it underground for 100 years or 1,000 years and uncovered? Was it something that had constant rain falling or water dropping? Or does it have a weathered look from bird droppings and weather over time? Is it oxidized? Whatever. So that's why they'll always be slightly different. They're hand done, and that's, to me, it's pretty cool. It's not painted. They're not perfect. He'll even tell you if you want a 10 out of 10 rock, a perfect rock, it takes a heck of a lot more time, and it would take more time, which equals more money. And ultimately, in the game, when you're trying to reduce cost, adding time does not do that. So I hope that answered your questions. I went on a tirade, so I apologize. Do you do any HOBs at all? I'm in a huge aquarium, quiet flow, 55-75, a true 4 in a gallon, hard to keep substrate from moving all over the... Yeah, somebody told me that you don't have anything on the back, so I don't know why you say that when you did your Title 110 unboxing, you turd. Yes, I have kept Emperors, I've kept Aqua Clears, I've never kept Aquion. I think I've used a Tetra before on a smaller tank. Currently, I have 4 Title 110s working. And I can say that they're a very, very solid HOB filter. And I will be doing a full-on review. I'm almost now at a month with them, month and a half. Excuse me. So I'll talk about that. What happened with the bird? Okay, so I'll give you the lowdown. Yoshi, I still have him. Yoshi had gotten really stressed. I don't know if it was from some food intake or when we moved from Hawaii to Oklahoma and he stayed with Mindy's parents, and then he was stressed when he finally came to us, and then we built our home, so we had to put him back at our Mindy's parents' house and bring him back home. His feathers fell out. He didn't even pick them. They fell out. So I don't know if he was hypersensitive to something, if he took in something, whether it was caffeine or chocolate by accident of any sort from somebody that was in the house or when we had people watch him, whatever the case, I don't know. But the feathers fell off, and ultimately it was not something I could treat. I took him to vets, blood tests, the whole 9 yards. He's a healthy bird. But then he got very aggressive, not biting, but loud, aggressive cacks and yells, not like anything you would typically expect from a parrot of that size. These were blood-curdling, brain-thudding sounds that were scaring the living daylights out of Mindy and I. So when Liam was born, we had to move Yoshi to the other side of the house to not affect Liam, because an infant, a newborn's eardrums, I mean, it would blow instantly. I'm telling you, it's that loud. So I found somebody that could take him in Georgia. Still a hard thing for me to process. The guy has an Avery. I met him through Butch. Butch knows this guy. He's a great guy. But it's too hot to send Yoshi there. So the Dunn family was nice enough to say, bring Yoshi down. Let's see how he does. And I think Yoshi's taking a turn for the better. We will see. I still have to wait for the weather to come down before I can even send him. But that's where it's at. So he is at Universal Rocks right now. He makes the trip home with me weekly. So I come down here Sunday night, leave Thursday after work, and Yoshi makes the trip back and forth. So how's the... Have two myself, love them. Butch actually got a bunch, and finally. Have you ever had a parrotfish or flower horns? No, I do not have parrotfish. I will never have a parrotfish, and I will never have a flower horn. It's just not my thing. Oh man, all the top dogs are here now. KG and Ben, thanks bro, you guys are help. I mean, real help, got me hooked though. Cichlid Guru, man, I ain't no top dog. I'm the same as you, just the ability to sit in front of the camera and act like a tool. What you bring, Jay, is a level of energy missing in a lot of the gurus. Keep it coming, my friend. Well, I appreciate that, Ben. what is anything worth doing if you don't do it 100%? That's it. What is your final goal on tank size? So final goal on tank size would be anywhere between 14 feet to 16 feet, 4 feet deep and 3 feet tall. Yeah, so we'll figure it out. What is your favorite fish YouTuber? Honestly, this sounds really stupid. I don't have one particular person that I just watch. I don't watch everyone's video. I don't watch even the videos I watch all the way through. I know it's not possible. With all the things I have going on, I like to check stuff out. I've watched videos from KG Cichlids, Ben Ochart, Fish Tropic, IFG, Adam C, of course Southeast Cichlids, Cunningham. You know, I've watched, you know, Joey Mullen's videos before, not all the way through, but I've watched some of his stuff. Dolly V8, Cyber Aquarius. Cyber Aquarius used to be my favorite YouTube. Him and Mr. Honey to You, when they were doing their thing. So I don't have a favorite per se. I have certain people I'll go to watch. But the tough part is, and I know it's been said before, if you watch way too many videos and your goal is to continue to put out content that is reachable to people and help, you have to be careful, because what you'll see is what you're seeing right now. You'll see a video come out and it'll say, you know, keeping peacocks in my tank. And then 4 or 5 other videos, which clearly you know have watched that video, are like, peacocks are dying, should I keep them? Or, you'll never believe what happened next. Or, in a world where peacocks only lived. There are so many of that scenario playing out right now. Chad, I think it was Chad Davis said, clickbait's becoming something silly. So you can see kind of the trend. You have to stay true to what you're doing. So you know what? I'm going to do 15 more minutes. The questions could be about YouTube. They could be about personal things. Or they could be about recommendations outside fish keeping. So I'll read... KG Cichlids is in here. I don't know who you're... If you're talking about KG Tropicals, I mean... Shoot. I'm trying to remember the last video I watched from him. He was probably doing a walkthrough of his shop. I always liked looking at fish. Anybody that was doing walkthroughs of shops was just my cup of tea. I loved it. So, yes. No, not KG Tropicals. Kevin Green Cichlids. I think he did that on purpose. Oh man, would you consider getting an octopus? I've already answered that. I'm not a top dog. I have 297 subs. It's not about the subs, dude. It's about content. It's about what you do. It's about how you interact. It's about how you make yourself reachable. That's the key. The key, numbers and trending and being a super huge YouTuber is, yeah, okay, I guess it could be somebody's thing. But reality sits in, and it's a lot of time and effort. I mean, you really have to go all in. I have to replace an 8-foot glass panel for my tank. How do you accomplish doing that? I wouldn't. That's just not me, because you have to reseal 4 sides. So typically if somebody's going to do that, they're trying to make money. Most of the time somebody would tell you just buy another tank. That would be my recommendation. But if you want to do it. You're just going to have to make sure you clean off all of that silicone, all of it. It has to be perfect. And then you can go about resealing it the proper way. You're describing Inventory King's videos. Who? No. What he did, what was the last video he put out that was clickbait? I mean, if it's getting him views, fine. I'm not a fan of it. I mean, he's a good dude, but I'm not describing anyone's videos. I got 2 Fluval 206 and a 50. Is that enough? Yes. Do you know how to properly take care of jellyfish? Absolutely not. I would never tell you yes. Do you like going to aquariums? If so, how many different states aquariums have you been to? That's an awesome question. This is what I want to see. Something like this. Something outside of fish keeping hobby. Something you may need help with. anything. I don't care what it is. It could be so far removed from fish keeping. I do enjoy going to aquariums. I really enjoy going to zoos. I've probably been to 15 state zoos and 6 or 7 international zoos. Worst one being Kuwait. In Saudi Arabia, those two are tied for the crappiest. Best overall outside of the United States, I would say, is probably Singapore's nighttime safari. My goodness. But a rival to that would be the Taronga Zoo in Australia, just outside of Sydney. It is a primo location on an island. I was fortunate enough doing the job I did to have the ability to get a private tour. My goodness. So, really neat stuff. Have you ever been to the St. Louis Zoo? Yes, the St. Louis Zoo is really good. I think the best zoo in the United States that I've been to overall, because I liked one specific thing, well, 2 specific things, is the Bronx Zoo. It has the gorilla habitat, which was amazing when it first came out, and its manhole covers have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I will say this. I was extremely disappointed when I knocked off the San Diego Zoo on my bucket list. Disappointed as all get up. I really was let down. However, I found Naples Zoo in Naples, Florida, I think it was Naples, to be really neat. It was a lot of just dirt paths, and it was just really cool. Let's see, what car do you drive? Currently, I am driving a Kia Optima. It's a very amazing commuter car. It's very comfortable. If you can keep one Mbuna species, what would it be? Mason Reef or DeMasoni? In Atlanta, their aquarium is killer. Yes, the Atlanta aquarium is really neat. Denver aquarium is unique. Baltimore aquarium is really cool. Dubai's like aquarium style thing that they have in the mall is pretty sweet. I'm trying to think of like the best aquarium that I've been to. I don't know. I like just well done aquariums, if that makes sense. What made the facilities in the Middle East so poor? They didn't have anything. What made the facilities, like bathrooms? I mean, their culture is to wash themselves in it, so it's wet everywhere. And typically in a traditional culturized area, you're not going to find your traditional hygiene products that you would find, you know, in a westernized country. I mean, that's just the way they do things, and you either accept it or you just don't go there. And I was there, and I ultimately probably didn't have a choice not to be there, so you accept facilities. Yes, Renee, I'm telling you, the San Diego Zoo is such a letdown. Actually, you know what? If you get a chance to go to Colorado, the Cheyenne Mountain Zoo is just a cool place to be. Atlanta Aquarium, hands down the best. Yeah, very, very awesome place to be. What's the best public aquarium spot? I think I just kind of answered that. Go swim with the dolphins at the Theater of Sea in Esmeralda Key. So I've done that in Hawaii, inadvertently in a Harbor Patrol boat when I was early on in the Navy. I jumped into the water. There's a bunch of bottlenose. It was a great experience, probably stupid thing for me to do. I felt I was one with nature. But, and then I got to mess with dolphins at Discovery. I forgot what it's called, but it's the one with 50 First Dates with Rob Schneider. Oh, man, where he's like sleeping there. That's a pretty cool place. They have the Wallfin. I don't know if that one's still alive. Don't be the one guy that washes his hands in the pee trough. That is something that I have not done or will ever do. Have you ever been to Albuquerque, New Mexico? No. I was offered a job there, but I did deny it. Tennessee is the best aquarium in the States. Ripley's Aquarium in Myrtle Beach I've been to. Jay, you should check out the Wichita, Kansas Zoo. Have not been there. Just the other weekend, we were at the Wichita Mountain Range. Wow, lost train of thought. It's a wildlife refuge. Roaming bison, longhorn deer, elk. Really cool. I actually swam with an orca in Atlanta with my kids. Pretty cool. That's awesome to hear. what do you do for work? I work for Universal Rocks. I've been to Ripley's in Toronto. I was there camping a long time ago, and have not been to the Dallas World Aquarium, surprisingly. And I live so close, and now I'm even closer, so I'm gonna have to check it out. Did you see the Toronto Cichlid tank? I don't remember it. It was 9 years ago. I wasn't into cichlids at the time, so. But and I do work for Universal Rocks. I'm kind of the guy that does the aquatic section. I answer the questions, I get quotes, I help develop new product, I possibly can help make product. I got my hands in everything from tanks, backgrounds, rocks, plants, aquascaping, designing, setting up for, working on some projects for, we left out Shed Aquarium in Chicago. Universal Rocks does some great stuff there. We've done some work, maritime centers in Connecticut, California, Canada. We do a lot of cool stuff that, I'm living a dream. I had a kid with my wife when we were told we couldn't. I came from a drug and alcohol-ridden family. I watched death and destruction from it. I watched war happened in front of my eyes. I failed myself in a sense not going to college, but made myself a better person for not doing it. I was an athlete and state champion from hard work and dedication through mentorship of people that were there when nobody else was. And met my wife in Hawaii in 2002 is when we started dating. And ever since then I had somebody to always confide in. I got released from the military because the administration at the time was downsizing, and I lost everything that I thought that was near and dear to my heart. Probably the best job I've ever had. I got out treading water, trying to find myself. I went through health issues and 7+ concussions and injuries and not knowing where I was going to working at AT&T and being let down after letdown after letdown. Found fish keeping to help me, propelled me a little further, started the YouTube thing, felt like it was helping people, which is why I continue to do it. Opened Northfin USA, continued to drive myself, worked for somebody running a hybridized medical clinic, didn't work out, couldn't get back the time, decided to do security in the meantime, but fiddled with school and security and being a police officer, working at PetSmart, grinding, finding a stable ground, getting offered a job from Universal Rocks, turning it down because of the timing, then having our kid, then being in the position with Northfin USA, then being in the ability to reach people, and then being in the ability to be a part of the American Cichlid Association as their publicity chairman, and then to be in the position I am at Universal Rocks. If I looked back 4 years, I would have said no. It's not going to happen. But it did. Just a lot of hard work. There's no secret sauce to it. I have the ability to communicate, but outside of that, there are people that are much smarter than I am, that are much more knowledgeable at fish than I am. I'm very fortunate, and I'm very blessed to be in the position that I'm in, and very fortunate to have not only a wife, friend, and an amazing little turd burglar in my son Liam, but to have friends that I've never met that I know would be there in a heartbeat. Freaking kick butt. Kick butt. Wow, we're still going on. I just got 50% off $100 lights. Thanks for the help, Jay. No problem. Much love, bro. The right is where it's all at. Love the testimonials. What's the best 3D background for a 75-gallon that doesn't take up too much room, even though I love the Kayama base? Bumbo Rock. So, no, actually, take that back. Don't listen to me. Crevice. Olga's is pretty good. You could probably cut that down. Olga's is pretty neat. I'll show that tomorrow, maybe. But Olga's, Crevice, Crystal's good. And with these different colorations, you're always going to have something different. Any plans on coming back to the New York City area, maybe for Reefapalooza? I hear they're going to have a freshwater section next year that Joey is going to be a part of. That's really cool. If I was invited to Reefapalooza, I may go. The key things is when you show up to places like this, sometimes it gets really expensive to attend a lot of these a year. I don't get sponsored to do it. I'm not sponsored to go to ACA. It's out of my own pocket. I'm not sponsored to go to OCA. I would love at some point maybe to do a talk. It wouldn't be a lake talk or anything like that, but it could be a topic that people want to hear about and that could be interactive, and I think could really, really interact with an audience and hopefully draw some people in. So maybe at that point I would attend those things if I was ever in that position, but for Reefapalooza, not currently. The Shed Aquarium in Chicago is nice. It is. You're doing a great job. I appreciate it, man. Kids are great. Got 2 girls, and they love watching 4 tanks set up. That's awesome. What was your rank in the Navy? I was an MA and got out as MA2. The neat part is I didn't wear a uniform for the last 9 years of my career. I wore suits, polos, khakis, you name it, flight suits, everything but my uniform, unless I was getting promoted in an award or I was required at some point to be in it. Let's see. Much love, bro. This right here is what it's all about. Testimonies are good. I think sometimes it does get redundant. Most people know the story, but I think when I say it more, it becomes more real. I just bought a cichlid buffer. Is it really necessary? It can be, depending. I think I may look into the crevice background with a rock set. Adam C., we're here for you, brother. You know the drill. We'll take good care of you. I have a 50-gallon mixed Mabuna and Peacock tank. Cool. You can't make up a testimony like that. I wouldn't know why somebody would want to. Why would you make up something? You know, sometimes you embellish about a story. You know, a lot of war stories you'll hear, and you're like, that kind of didn't happen. But it's tough to make up stories. I have a tough time doing it because it's just going to change all the time, and you don't want to be caught out. How much is the average freight for a setup like you had a special on from Universal Rocks? So that was like 150 tall. So place like Connecticut would probably be roughly, with a lift gate, just spitting off the top of my head, about $500 freight. Universal Rocks and A-Round Nature does not make money off of shipping. That is not the goal. So when we give a freight quote for a custom tank, it's done. That is what it is. We're not getting any money from it, and actually better that you pay it on your end because the insurance is actually better than if we pay it on our end. So there's always ways we can work something out. But average, I would probably say about $300. That's with a lift gate and residential delivery. If somebody wanted to pick it up at a depot and they felt they can get a couple people with them, then it would be much cheaper. And what I mean by much cheaper is if you said $350 residential with a lift gate and I took that off, you're probably in and around $190 to maybe $210, and that's depending on the freight, the cost, the gas, all that stuff. Very hard to pinpoint that, and that's why we typically give freight quotes at the moment that we're going to ship, because it's so difficult. We could just give a ballpark. But especially like making the tanks where we do, what I like about it is it's very personal. You're getting exactly what you're asking for. And you could do that at other places, but other places have deadlines and they're crunching hundreds and tens of thousands of tanks out, where we don't do that. We have a few people that enjoy what they're doing, and they're taking time to make sure that tank is, in their eyes, a very solid tank. And what's neat about the manufacturer, his name's Tom, he will not make a tank he feels that at some point, faster than what it would be in terms of time, would fail. So he'd be like, no, I wouldn't make that tank because it's too risky. He's very smart like that, and I think that plays well into what he does. Inspirational. Mindy rocks the house. Yeah, she does. So, new to the hobby, thanks for all you do. I have a 26-gallon bow front, and I'm thinking cichlids. How many and what type would you recommend? A 26-gallon bow front, you would be in and around shell dwellers. That's it. So, nothing else. I wouldn't even touch Mbuna in a 26-gallon. It's a bow front, losing a lot of space, a lot of swimming room. Shell dwellers from Lake Tanganyika, like I have in my A-Round Nature tank, would be your best bet. So, there's 6 minutes. I'll run until 9:30. This is much longer than I've ever done. Crazy off-the-wall questions, 6 minutes. I don't care what they are. Get really silly. It's fine. How would a thin 3D background, how much would a thin 3D background cost for a 248 footer roughly? Stand by a second. So when you're looking at thin, I'll price you Rocky. So you're looking roughly 352 is what I'm getting. I don't know how tall it is. I would need inside dimensions left to right and up, down, top to bottom dimensions, interior as well, to give you a more accurate quote. Probably about 350, and then California with Rocky, we can roll it up. So depending on the size, it probably costs anywhere from 40 to 50 bucks to ship. Do you split your Oreos? No, I don't. I actually just eat them in one shot. I need some impressions. Well, what do you want to hear? What kind of toilet paper do you use? I use Charmin Ultra. What's one of your bucket list items you just have to do? See the Great Migration in Africa. I've done most of the things that I've ever wanted to do within my bucket list. But I have not fully seen the Great Migration. I had opportunities that were missed, but I love to feel the thunder under my feet of animals moving from one side of a continent to another because of climate, survival. I just think it would... That's it. That's what I want to do. I think it's going to be awesome. Will I ever get to do it? I don't know. Fastest car you've ever been in? Surprisingly enough, a Ford Lightning. My buddy's brother worked at Ford in high school. He actually had a roll cage within it, and anytime he was not on the highway, he had to wear a helmet. Or anytime he was on the highway or a track, he was required by law in the state of Connecticut to wear a helmet. Favorite flavor of ice cream? I'm plain chocolate. Ever been to Lake Malawi? No. Old English lady. I don't even know how I would do that. I mean, if you're talking about a freaking old lady